Hi, I'm Mark, and in this video we're going to look at combining both the major pentatonic and the minor pentatonic in a single blues solo. So this is the third in a series of videos of getting more out of the pentatonic scales. So far we looked at the minor pentatonic and being able to play that all over the neck, not being limited to just one area. We've also looked at a shortcut method for learning the major pentatonic. And so what we're going to do in this video is we're going to combine the knowledge of both of those videos and bring together major and minor pentatonic together into one blues solo. So the way the video is going to work is I'm going to play an example solo once through a 12-bar blues that uses both major and minor pentatonics. And then what I'll do is I'll take it apart, show you all the licks one by one, and explain the theory behind it as well so you can apply this to your own playing. So, here's the solo. So the solo is in the key of E. So it's a 12-bar blues in the key of E. And what I'm doing is I'm moving between the scales of E minor pentatonic and C sharp minor pentatonic. Now if you don't understand why I would use C sharp minor pentatonic, then please go back and check out the previous video in this series, which explains about the relative minor and I think it's called something like shortcut to the major pentatonic. But basically C sharp minor pentatonic doubles as the E major pentatonic. So I'm moving between E major pentatonic and E minor pentatonic, but I'm using C sharp minor in place of E major pentatonic. As I say, if you don't understand, I explain this in some detail in the previous video. Okay, so the way the solo is broken down is over the first 4 bars and bars 7 and 8, which are when the chord progression is just on the E chord. What I'm doing is I'm using E major pentatonic, which I'm substituting that with C sharp minor pentatonic. Okay, so those bars I'm going to play C sharp minor pentatonic. Then over the bars where it moves to the A chord and the B chord, those bars I'm going to be playing the E minor pentatonic. In fact, for everything other than bars 1 to 4 and 7 and 8, I'm going to be using E minor pentatonic. Okay, so that's the basic way it works. The theory behind this is that you can use either the major or minor pentatonic over the root note, or the root chord. So in this case, we're in the key of E. So whenever there's an E chord, you can use either the major pentatonic or the minor pentatonic. But then when it goes to that 4 chord, which in this case is the A, you have to play the minor pentatonic. Okay, because E major pentatonic is going to sound terrible over an A chord, over an A7 chord. And that's because the E major pentatonic contains a G sharp, but the A7 chord contains both an A and a G. And so that G sharp in E major pentatonic, that's going to really stand out and sound horrible. If you don't believe me, try it yourself. There's the backing tracks there, you can see how this works. But the basic rule is over the 1 chord, the root chord, we can use major or minor pentatonic. Over the other chords, we're gonna use just the E minor pentatonic. Okay, so with all of that covered, let's get into the licks now. But before we do, can I just say, new guitar, do you like it? I bought this, I'm thinking of swapping the neck because I actually wanted the rosewood neck, but they don't do this beautiful, beautiful finish with a rosewood neck. So what I'm actually thinking of doing, tortoiseshell pickguard, rosewood neck. But actually having bought it and owned it now, it's kind of nice and I'm not sure whether I should change it. So let me know what you think in the comments. Do you think it would be better with a rosewood neck? You can see it's brand new because I still haven't even taken the plastic work off. Anyway, on with the lesson now. So what we'll do now is we'll start by having a look at lick 1. And lick 1 goes like this. So lick 1 is coming from C sharp minor pentatonic. And if you don't understand why I chose C sharp minor pentatonic, then go back and have a look at the previous video. But I'm using that to replace E major pentatonic. Okay, so you should see this lick here. That's coming straight out of C sharp minor pentatonic box shape 1. Okay, so what I've done is I've split the lick into 2 halves. The first half goes like this, nice and slow. Okay, so I'm starting 9 on the D string, hammering on to 11 on the D string, then 9 twice on the G. So like this. And sometimes I'm hammering that and sometimes I'm picking it. Play it however you want. Okay, and then I'm playing 11 on the D, 9 on the G, 11 on the G, back to 9 twice on the G. And just giving it a little shake. So the whole of lick 1A, nice and slow. Okay, lick 1B then goes like this. So it's just an extension from what we're already playing. Now we're kind of jumping up into box position 2. What I'm doing is I'm sliding 11 to 13 on the G string. And when I land there, when I arrive, I'm catching the B string at the 12th fret and letting them ring together. So you get this. Okay, that's all it is. And you do that 3 times. And then we play 11 on the G string and then 9 on the G string twice. So that whole section, nice and slow. Put the 2 of them together and play the whole thing nice and slow. Okay, so that section has been in E major pentatonic or C sharp minor pentatonic, depending on how you want to look at it. So that was over the underlying E chord, which is bars 1 to 4. Now we go on to the bar 5 and 6, which is over an A7 chord. So we're going to jump up to play E minor pentatonic. Okay, nice box position 1 shape of E minor pentatonic. Okay, and what we're going to do is we're going to grab 12th fret, G string and B string together, hit them together and bend slightly sharp. We're going to do that twice and then land on 14 on the D string. So nice and slow. Okay, so I'm just using the side of my index finger there in order to do that. And however much you want to bend that is entirely up to you. The more you bend it, the kind of darker and bluesier it sounds. So that's lick 2. And the reason I'm doing that is, if you think about where lick 1 was, we had this figure. So we had those 2 notes together, which sound really sweet because you've got basically the major 3rd and the 5th of E. And then now we're playing our A note, I'm going to our A chord, I'm going to the E minor pentatonic, so I want to contrast that with something really dirty. So we're going from this to this, and that tension is kind of where I'm playing with. Okay, so those are the kind of the things I'm doing. So I've played a lick, which is quite sweet, which is emphasising the major 3rd. And then I'm following that with a lick that emphasises the minor 3rd. Okay, so that was lick 2. Lick 3 now goes like this. And if you've seen any of my other videos, you'll probably recognise this. I use this kind of lick all the time. I'm starting it on 12th fret of the G string, and then I'm hitting 14th of the G string and bending it up. And I'm kind of aiming for the B note on 16. But I'm not landing there. I'm kind of just going there. And I'm not there long enough before I'm catching top E at the 12th fret and then B at the 12th fret. So we get this. Okay, that's that little piece. And then all I'm doing is I'm getting 15 on the B string, sliding up to 17. Okay, so the whole lick, nice and slow. Now, often when I play that lick, I actually just play this bit. Okay, but in this case, when I improvised this solo, I added that little G note before it, so 12th fret G string, as a kind of passing tone to get to it, to get from lick 1 into lick 2. So lick 2, up to speed. So that was lick 3. Lick 4 now goes like this. So lick 3 and lick 2 as well were all about minor pentatonic, E minor pentatonic. Now we're going back to a major feel. So we're going back to E major pentatonic or C sharp minor pentatonic, however you want to look at it. In my mind, when I was improvising this, I was thinking C sharp minor box position 2. Okay, those kind of notes. So the actual lick goes like this. We start with the hammer on from 12 to 14 on the B string, and then we're grabbing the E, top E string at the 12th fret. Okay, so we're doing that once, and then what we're doing is we're catching the B string with the 12th fret as well. And then we're grabbing top E, 14th fret, bending up a whole tone, back down to 14, 12, and then 14 on the B string, back to 12 on the top E. So the whole lick now nice and slow. So lick 5 now goes like this. And what's going on, we've moved to the B7 chord. Okay, which is the 5th chord in the progression. So we've gone now from major pentatonic, we're going back to minor pentatonic, E minor pentatonic. And I'm going to do this in 2 halves, we'll call this 5A. Okay, 15th fret, bend that twice, and then 12th fret, all on the B string. And those bends, I'm not kind of going for a whole tone, I'm not bending, I'm not bending up to this E up here. I'm just kind of bending slightly sharp, kind of dirty, not particularly aiming for anything. And depending on how you feel, if you're feeling like it's particularly nasty and bluesy, you might want to give it a bit of a big bend. If you're feeling kind of sweet, you might not bend it at all. Just however you feel. Okay, so that's 5A. 5B then goes like this. So again, all on the B string, I'm going 12 to 15. Again, when I'm hitting that 15, I'm giving it a nice little dirty bend. Back to 12 on the B, and then 15 sliding up to 17 on the B string. And the reason why I'm choosing to end the lick on that note is because that's E. That's part of the underlying chord progression. That's the root note of the whole key of the whole piece we're playing. So it's a good note to end on. Okay, so that was lick 5B. Lick 6 now goes like this. Okay, so this is where we're getting to the turnaround. So we do like a nice little E minor pentatonic turnaround lick. We're starting 17th fret top E string, bend up a whole tone, and then come back down to the to 17th fret. 15th fret, and that's all on the top E, and then we go 17 on the B, back to 15 on the top E. Then we're playing 17 on the B. Then what we're doing, 15 on the B string, 16 on the G, 15 on the B, 16 on the G. So we'll break it down, we'll do it like this. This part goes like this. Okay? And then the next part goes like this. And again, that 15, you can bend that a little if you want. Entirely up to you. So that's the whole lick. I'll do it up to speed and then I'll do it once more slow. So the whole lick goes like this. Okay, and nice and slow. So those are the licks. I hope you enjoyed this. I hope you enjoyed the video. Please hit like, subscribe, etc. And let me tell you about the next video in the series. Actually, before I do, thank you to subscribers. Thank you to those who support me on Patreon. Wouldn't be able to do this without you. Thank you to everyone who supported me, shared the video, and those kind of things. Really, really appreciate it. Please leave me some comments. Tell me if what you think of the new guitar. Next video is going to be minor pentatonic substitutions. It's a bit more of an advanced technique and idea. The theory is a bit more advanced, but it's a way of reusing the pentatonics that you already know, you already love, all those licks that you already know, and just using them in a slightly different way to get a more original, interesting sound. So I think you're really going to like that video. I've really enjoyed putting that one together. So I'll see you next time. I'll see you again.